Here is, can't remember if it's part 2 or part 3 of lecture for 11.1.1 and through 11.1.3 packet. So we were using a compass, and we were going to do number 4. We're going to use constructions to find the centroid of this triangle. The centroid is the intersection of the medians of the triangle. So if you look in your math notes box in your book, it'll tell you that the medians go from the center of one of the sides to the opposite vertex. Okay, so that means we have to find the center of each side. So the way to do that is, if you look in example 1, or I'll try to show you, you can get some perpendicular bisectors. Bisector, bi means 2, right? I mean, if you bisect something, you're going to chop it in half. Okay, so we're going to do that. The way you get a perpendicular bisector is, if I want to do WK, then I'll put my needle on the end point, one of the end points, W, and then I'll just make an arc. You can make the whole circle if you want. I like to make my arc. There's going to be a lot of lines all over this thing, so I usually don't make the whole circle. I just know that I need some arc length up here and down here. I've done a few of these, so I can kind of predict where they're going to meet. First I made an arc from one end point. Now I'm going to make an arc from the other end point. Notice I did not open or close my compass. I kept the radius the same. Oh, oops. So all you need is that little X. X marks the spot, right? We got these 2 little X's right here. And then it's going to get a little messy. Connect the 2 intersections with the line. Now this line, I'm going to make a dark dot right there. This line goes, it should be the midpoint between W and K. Alright, so maybe I want to clear up some space a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and maybe my next one I'll bisect segment KD. So it doesn't matter how big your radius is when you start, as long as you don't change it when you change endpoints. Okay, so I'll just make an arc. You can make the whole circle if you want. Hopefully I'm going to go off the page a little bit. Okay, and then I just make another arc. I'm just looking for the X, where X marks the spot. See, I got the little X's. That's all you really need. You don't need a whole circle. But I know sometimes it's hard to judge, and so some of you might be wanting to just make the whole circle. So I don't even need this whole line. All I need is this point right here. Okay, that's the midpoint. So that's the point halfway between K and D. It doesn't look like it is. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too much. And then we'll do the third side. I'll just get rid of some of these marks here. So we got a lot of marks. The third side is WD. So put the needle on one of the endpoints. Make an arc above and below. X marks the spot. See, I can see where my X is. There's one here, and there's one here. And then I'm going to connect them with a ruler. So again, I'm just looking for the middle of segment WD. Now that I have it, I don't care about all these other lines, and just to make it not look really crazy to you guys, I'm going to get rid of these extra lines. Okay, now so a median is when you take the middle of a side and connect it with the opposite vertex. And these are all supposed to meet in a point, But if you have a shaky hand and you don't, or you have a loose compass or something, maybe they won't meet in a point. If you do it perfectly, they will meet in a point. Who knows if mine are going to meet in a point or not. If they do, I'm going to be, oh, they look like they might be going to meet in a point. Ah! Okay, so there it is. So what did we do? We found the perpendicular bisector of each of the three sides, marked it, and then we connected that bisector with the opposite vertex. Okay, that thing right there in the middle, that's called a centroid. And then number 5 says, construct the perpendicular bisectors of each side. Do they all meet in one point? Well, they should. Now this one I already know because I peeked at the answer book. I already know this one's going to be a little, they're not going to meet in the middle of the triangle like this one. I'll do my perpendicular bisectors. I'm going to do this one a lot faster. All I'm doing is making those X's. X marks the spot. Do it again. Making the little X's, then I connect the X's with the ruler. That gives me my midpoint right there. Then I get rid of some of the messy lines. Last side. Connect the X with the ruler. Get rid of the messy part. Okay, these 3 dots are the midpoints of each of the 3 sides. And remember, if I want, hey, it's a good thing I didn't erase my lines all the way. It didn't say to get the centroid, did it? I can still see my lines, so I'm reconstructing my perpendicular bisectors, the ones that I created and then erased. Sorry, I'm not very good at editing, so I'm probably gonna just leave this video. Okay, so these, if I wouldn't have erased them, see, we're not, it didn't tell us to find the medians and the centroid. It asked us construct the perpendicular bisector. Do they all meet in one point? Well, they kind of do. I mean, they kind of meet right there. So that's not the centroid. The reason it's not the centroid is because I didn't take the perpendicular bisectors, or I didn't take the midpoints and connect them with the opposite corners like I did in this one. I just, see, these are perpendicular. They make 90-degree angles. And I should have left them there. But there it is. And do they all meet in one point? We say yes. That's all.